Kutztown Live. Kutztown University Campus's campus and community interest radio magazine. You can call Kutztown Live at 610-683-4859. And now, your host for Kutztown Live, Juliana Jablonski.
Good afternoon and welcome to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. Hello and good afternoon. I am your host, Juliana Jablonski, here this afternoon. Unfortunately, my co-host is feeling a little under the weather this afternoon, so hoping Mike O'Mara feels a little bit better. We've got a good show for you all coming up this afternoon with some interesting interviews. Last week here on Kutztown Live, we heard from Robert Fisher, the head coach of the wrestling team here at KU. We also spoke to Lori D'Onofrio Galli from the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, and she brought along with her Michael Cowker from the Reading Berks Conference of Churches. And we also heard from Corinne Smith from the Multicultural Center. If you would like to hear any of those interviews, be sure to subscribe to the Kutztown University Radio on YouTube, and there you can find all those interviews and much more. And while you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, be sure to give Kutztown Live a like on Facebook also. And now, on to our show this afternoon. We will be speaking to KU's men's basketball coach, Coach Driscoll. We'll also be hearing from Saige and Michael from the Entrepreneurship Club, and we also have an interview from Senator Judy Schwank. Here with me now is basketball coach Driscoll. Hello, and welcome to Kutztown Live.
Thanks, Juliana. I appreciate it.
It is great to have you here this afternoon. I'll do my best with my basketball knowledge. So how has the just season been going on so far?
We've had a great year. We were 19 wins and 5 losses right now. We play East Stroudsburg tomorrow night for the PSAC East title, and we're nationally ranked and we're regionally ranked. So we've had a real successful year so far.
All right, and you said it's a big game this Wednesday night because of why?
Stroudsburg, East Stroudsburg, and Kutztown, plus Ship and Westchester are all within a game of first place, and we all play each other Wednesday night. So after this Wednesday night, we'll figure out where our seating is for the playoffs. But it's a huge game for us. All
right, and is East Stroudsburg a pretty good team, or how's that looking? Are you nervous?
They're very good.
Yeah,
they're very
confident?
good. They're very good, and we had a great game with them the first time up there. We lost by 5. But we now have them back at Keystone on tomorrow night at 7:30. So, we're hoping for a little better results.
All right, looking forward to that. And how long have you been a coach here? And how did you play high school? Did you play basketball growing up, or?
Well, it's interesting. This is my 18th season here at Kutztown. I used to be the assistant coach at Westchester University for 12 years before taking the job at Kutztown, but I played football in college. I was a football player in college, college baseball player. I love basketball, but my leanings, certainly my family leanings, are for football and baseball. And just by working at a private school, I ended up kind of being pushed in the basketball direction and never looked back.
All right. And I know, like I said, Michael Mayer could not be here this afternoon, but he sent me a list of all different things for me to understand a little bit more about football. And he was just talking about some of the great players that you have this year. Has there been any that have been super standing out and that you're going to be missing? Or?
We have a real strong senior class. Ethan Ridgway is our point guard. Ethan's a 2-year starter. He's an all-region player. Will be an All-American candidate this year. Has set the assist record for Kutztown University as a junior, is in the top 5 assists in the whole league, and on the D2 level too. And we have a young man named Rafiq Marshall, a transfer from Cheney's, done very well for us. And probably the young man that keeps us together is a young man named Demetrius Bennett, who does a little bit of everything. Doesn't start, but gets in the game and is a high energy kid. And those are our 3 seniors this year.
So you have a total of 3 seniors.
Yes.
And has basketball started recruiting for next year?
Oh,
how does that work?
Recruiting never stops.
Okay.
I wish we had a break, but there are recruiting services that deal with 9th and 10th graders.
Wow.
We've already signed one player for next year, but traditionally we like looking at young men that late spring, right about now, once their season starts, finishing up, and many of them think they're Division I players. Sometimes that doesn't work out for them, and they fall to Division II. So you really kind of have to play the field and figure out whether you want to, sign a kid early that's already a Division II player. Or do you wait for a young man that, might come down from a Division I program? So you're kind of, stuck between a rock and a hard place recruiting-wise. But if you find a player that you really like, that that will fit into Kutztown, that will be a good part of your program, you just go ahead and get them, and we go from there.
I remember when I was in high school, it was such a big day when all the people signed to their sports teams. They took pictures.
It's its own entity in itself right now. I don't quite understand it, because scholarships are for 1 year. There are no such things as a 4-year scholarship. They're 1 year renewable, and a lot of it is for the parents, and basketball right now, a lot of it's for the AAU coaches. It gives them a little bit of credibility that they have players going to Division I and Division II schools. So as coaches, we're not allowed to comment on it. As coaches, we're not allowed to be there. So this is really something set outside our jurisdiction. And I think if you talk to most college coaches, they think it's kind of gone a little bit too far.
And how many people are on the team now?
We have 13 players on the team.
13 players?
Not all of them receive scholarship money. We kind of allot the money. We break it up and go from there. But right now we have 13 players, 3 seniors.
And has any students been signed for next coming year yet?
We signed one young man from Northampton High School.
Okay.
A guard. And but presently we're now looking, for 2 more players, or 2 or 3 players to fill out our roster this year. And Division II is a little different because you have to you get transfers from Division I, and then you have a large group of students that may not qualify academically for Division I but qualify for Division II. So you kind of have to keep some money available in case one of those kids drop to you and you're able to get a very good player late in the year.
And so I'm just kind of asking
for
more myself. So can anyone apply to be on the basketball team kind of thing, or is it more like they're reached out to while they're in high school?
We do have walk-ons.
Okay.
We certainly do. But we like to, have a series of criteria that the walk-ons have to do. We want to recruit them. We want to make sure that they understand what the concept of a walk-on is. That you may not get a lot of playing time. A lot of kids come from high schools and they've been their star at their high school, and making that transition to sitting the bench at the college level has been quite hard. And it really takes a special individual to play real hard in practice and maybe not see the benefits of the time, during a game. And so we watch a lot of film, and we do spend a lot of time on that young man that wants to walk on, and just make sure that they understand what the parameters of that walk on position is. And we've had some great ones, and we've had some ones that it's really hard on them.
Mm-hmm. And you've been a coach, I think this is the 18th season here?
18th year.
Has there been anything just throughout your years, or even this year, just super memorable that you've taken away, or anything?
Well, we inherited a program that had not many winning seasons in the first 100 years. We've won the PSAC title now 6 out of the last 9 years. We've been in the NCAA tournament 5 times. We've been to the Sweet 16, which is the final 16 teams in Division II, twice. Our kids graduate. I think the most memorable parts being that, taking a program that really needed some care and attention, and getting it to a point now where it's, we're recognized on the national level. I think we're recognized within the PSAC as being a quality program, and the most important thing, I think, that our student athletes are recognized as good kids. They're the part of the school community. They represent Kutztown well. They represent our community well, and that's probably the things I'm most proud of.
Oh, that's super cool. I think definitely being a part of any organization, but especially sports, just gives you a step up in life, and just a lot of.
Well, it makes a lot of connections with people, and we have a great alumni base, and Many of them kind of reach out to our graduating seniors and help them with resumes and help them with job interviews, and a couple of them even have hired them.
Wow.
We've had a couple of young men hired down at DECA in their business program. So, that part is really nice. That part is kind of like a little bit extra, but, these guys work so hard. They don't get a lot of scholarship money. They do it for the love of the game. They do it for the love of Kutztown, and, that's the most rewarding part.
And the game tomorrow night is going to be live streamed. Is that correct?
Well, we don't want people sitting in their dorm rooms tomorrow night. We really would. Well, it's a huge game for Kutztown. It's for the PSAC East title. We really would like the gyms full. We like the stands full. The atmosphere at the Shippensburg game the other night was just outstanding. It was just a great game, and I really expect tomorrow night to be another good game, and we truly need the support of the students at Kutztown to put us over the top.
Do generally a lot of students come out to that?
We've had a great, it's been wonderful this year. They're loud, and you have a rough time with it because we run games during winter break and they're not on campus. But now the last couple of games, the place has been packed, and we're really looking forward to a real raucous crowd tomorrow night.
And is it free for students to get in?
Free for students to get in. They have hot dogs for them. They have you can shoot for $10,000 at halftime. I mean, there's a lot of incentives to come besides, watching Ethan and Rafiq and Anthony Lee and Demetrius play. And I think you're going to see a high-level Division II basketball game.
And is there like a Facebook page or Twitter or anything?
We have certainly our SID has our account, and certainly basketball has their own Twitter and Facebook account. So I'm not real good at it. My wife is the one who runs it all, so
all right.
She's the pro.
All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like just the listeners this afternoon to know about the upcoming game, any of the other upcoming games, just basketball in general?
As I said before, we're truly appreciative of the support we get from our students, and it's really nice. It wasn't like that at the beginning, and we were kind of an afterthought, but the kids have been great. They've been great to my players. Hopefully they're proud of them, and that's the nicest part.
I always hear a lot of people love going to the basketball games and enjoy it.
Well, you can come yell at the coach. I mean, what's wrong with that? Everybody else does, so you might as well, get down. The games are great. They're, it's a great way to spend 2 hours and with your friends, and I think you make great connections with your dorms and your fraternities, the sororities. It's I think it's just a good time to meet.
For sure. Well, thank you for stopping in the KUR studios this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
To have you, and
appreciate
I guess
it.
For myself, learn a little bit more about basketball than I knew before. And
well, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
And we'll be back with more of Kutztown Live.
I'm going to be a star on Saturday Night Live.
I'm going to be a pediatric nurse.
I'm going to write the next great American novel.
I'm going to pursue my love of art and study at WashU in St. Louis.
But then, meningitis B struck. Our dreams never did come true.
We all had the meningitis vaccine that was available at the time.
And that helped protect us against 4 of the most common groups of meningitis here in the U.S. A, C, W, and Y.
But at that time, there was no vaccine in the U.S. for meningitis B, so we didn't have the chance to be protected against it.
But there's good news.
Today, there is a vaccine available to help protect against meningitis B.
Ask your doctor about it.
Because 16 to 23-year-olds have an increased risk because of how we socialize.
For example, at crowded concerts or at parties.
Where we can share a drink.
Or a kiss.
Basically, we share saliva.
Know that when meningitis strikes, it can happen fast.
Meningitis can lead to death, sometimes within 24 hours of being perfectly healthy.
I can't imagine thinking it's okay to knowingly help protect myself against only 4 of the 5 vaccine-preventable groups of meningitis.
That is not okay. Help make your dreams come true. Get vaccinated with both vaccines. The one for ACW and Y, plus a separate shot for Men B.
Do it because you can.
The Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce is your premier resource and voice for trusted local business. The Chamber advances regional economic and cultural growth through supportive collaboration with business and community organizations, as well as government. For more information, call the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce at 610-683-8860. That's 610-683-8860, or visit their website at northeastberkschamber.com.
Hey KU, it's Allie
And Brooke.
here again from the Career Development Center. Mock Interview Mania is around the corner, and now is your chance to practice your interview skills with a volunteer interviewer. You might look great on paper, but how you interview is the true test. Good interviewing is a skill. Sign up on KUCN now for a spot. Dates are February 26th through the 27th and March 1st through the 2nd. But be quick, this popular event fills up quickly.
Interested in promoting on KURadio? Contact KURadio at KUR@kutztown.edu or call our station at 610-683-4059. That's 610-683-4059. We provide broadcast, digital, and campus promotion free for KU organizations. Local business promotion is also welcome.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. We just spoke to Coach Driscoll from the men's basketball team. And here with me now are Saige and Michael from the Entrepreneurship Club. Hello and welcome to Kutztown Live, the two of you.
Hello, thank you for having us today.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. Do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about who you are, maybe your name, your major, and what your position in the club is?
Of course, my name's Saige Sufrin, and I'm the Vice President of Entrepreneurship Club here at Kutztown University. And in my free time, I have a small clothing brand called Acid Rats that I design and sell for. So we're here to talk a little bit about Entrepreneurship Week as well, and here's Mike telling them.
Hi, my name is Michael Jacobs. I'm the secretary of the Entrepreneurship Club. I study marketing and minoring in economics here.
And so what exactly is the Entrepreneurship Club, I guess?
Well, it's a club full of like-minded individuals who, during our different club meetings, we like to share certain ideas that we've come across and pitch the ideas to other individuals and give certain feedback on to how we can help each other with their businesses starting up.
And when and where do those meetings occur?
Well, we actually just moved. We used to be in DFran, was it 128B? Yep. And now we moved, not DFran, it was Old Main 128B, and now we are in DFran 201.
Yes, I believe so.
201, correct. It's during Thursdays on free hour, so 11 to 12.
And are there any types of events that the club puts on, or speakers that come, or what kinds of things do you learn about?
Yes, we've actually had a few guest speakers come to the club and talk about their businesses within the community. So we have people from Reading, Allentown, Philly, all around who will share their experiences and what we can learn from them. And we also, springtime is a very important time for Entrepreneurship Club, as we have E-Week coming up, which starts on March 27th to the 29th. And we have a student panel that goes on in the AF on the 29th, and a women's panel, and a key speaker that's coming in within those 3 days. So.
And do you both, you mentioned you had a clothing business, which is super cool. Do you both have little businesses, or what made you want to join the club?
Me, I always feel like I could see myself owning my own business someday. I'm not I know our president, Lewis, he has his own media company where he films, shoots, does photography for people who pay him for it. Saige here has her clothing line, and then me, I'm not really involved with any kind of business yet, but I see myself more in the future getting involved with that kind of field. So, the club's really good for giving me info now and ways of being able to start it up, keep that club going, and to turn a profit at the end.
Has there been anything just super inspiring, or anything you've really taken away so far from being a part of the club?
Me, I'm one of those people that have so many things running through my mind. I could do that, I could do this, or I don't know, maybe that won't work out too well. So maybe I want to get a little bit there's a lot of things that I see myself doing. It's really gonna be mostly probably after college or when I have my first few years in the field that we'll see what I exactly want to do with my business. So I'm one of those people in the club right now who is not really involved with entrepreneurship yet, but I'm learning a lot in the club.
That's all that entrepreneurship is about too. Like, you don't necessarily have to be a business major or have a business. Like, for say you have a radio show, and that's a sign of entrepreneurship. It's really everywhere within the community, and that's like the beautiful thing about it is someone who's an art major can join the club as well as sociology. You never know, they could start their own firm or something, and that's great.
Yeah, that was my next question. Can anyone just join, or do
Anyone.
you have like a very diverse majors
we
group
do.
of people, I guess?
Yes, a big variety.
And is this club newer, or has it been going on for a few years?
It's been going on for a few years. Our last president, Stephen Hilborn, he was our previous president. I don't know about who before that, but I know we've had the club going on for a few years now. I don't exactly know the exact amount, but I know it's been going on for a while.
And how can someone get involved? Do they just show up to a meeting? Should they send you an email?
Yep.
Or?
Well, they can go on our K United page,
Okay.
and there's a form on there that they can definitely apply for, and we'll send them out an email. So.
And is there like a Facebook page, a Twitter account, an Instagram,
Yes.
stuff like that people can follow and get
Yes,
more
there's
information?
there's an Instagram. We have a Facebook. We have. I think we do have a Twitter.
Yeah, we
but
have all
we don't really
sorts of
use
stuff.
Twitter as much anymore. Yeah, we have
Yeah,
pretty
no.
much all the social media. But it's all. I think it's all the same. I think we actually changed our Instagram. Is it KUpreneur now?
I
It's
believe so,
not-
yes.
Yeah.
We've changed it recently, but it is definitely on there. So.
And we also have a website that they can go out and check. It's also Kutztown Entrepreneurship Club.com that they can check on.
And what kind of stuff's on the website? Just
It shows the current officers. It shows events that have been held in the past. Pictures of Entrepreneurship Week that were of the students who had their own individual vendors and the stuff they were selling during Entrepreneurship Week. Stuff like that. You know, the club's statement, the club's the purpose for the club, what we do on campus, how we get involved.
And you mentioned the one event you had coming up. Is there anything else we should be keeping an eye out for in the upcoming months?
Well, we actually do need some more students coming up for the student panel on March 29th, and if you would like, you can contact Allison Fanning for that by February 23rd, so it's this Friday. So anybody can go on and talk, and there's a crowd about 60 people that come normally for that.
I was going to ask, what does being on the panel entail? Like, what do they talk about? Or
Honestly, the questions range. There are a big variety of, like, what inspired you, what keeps you going, what lessons you have for your failure, success, all sorts of things.
I wonder if Lewis signed up for that. Well, did he happen to sign up for that? I can't remember. I think he did, but I don't know. He didn't confirm that with me.
I'm not sure, but I did do it last year. It was lots of fun. I'm pretty busy this semester, so I don't think I'm going to make it to the student panel, but I'd love to hear other people.
That's so cool. And what made you want to join the club as a whole and then become vice president and secretary?
Honestly, I wasn't expecting to become the vice president. The first meeting I attended, I brought some of my stickers for my company, and I pitched myself to the club, and I got voted in, and they have been really supportive of what I've been doing with my artwork. So it's really nice to be surrounded with so many people who are like-minded in the field.
Oh, that sounds super cool. And Michael, you also mentioned that you're on student government board?
Correct. Yes.
And what do you do on student government board?
Well, I'm actually I'm a College of Business representative for the Student Government Board, while also the Dean's Liaison for the College of Business.
And what does all that mean?
Okay, well, we let me give you an example. So there was a new talk in SGB about a new student success fee that may be coming into play for Kutztown, and we had a professor come in and talk about the reasons for the success fee, and it's pretty much we're there. So we have about 6 representatives for the College of Business, and then there's a range of students for other colleges like liberal arts or the College of Science and other stuff like that. But it's pretty much a group of students who are elected in to be able to. They're pretty much the voice for that college.
Okay.
So, like this issue that's coming up with the new student success fee, we're the voice of the students. Whenever things like this happen, they come to us for our opinion for students, because it's really hard to get 8,000 students' ideas on a topic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like a small group of students who kind of get the opinions of all the students together and then voice it in these meetings.
And is there something going on with the College of Businesses? Or?
Actually, yes. There's a few things. We recently had our Coffee for Comments. And that right now, that was pretty much where we gave away free coffee and students who would give us their comments about the issues or opinions they had about college business.
Okay.
So I know we had some students talk about how the building was dull, the lights needed to be changed, the blinds looked like they were from the 50s or something.
Which building?
DFran, actually.
Okay,
So I think it's right behind this building.
Yeah.
Right next to Rickenbach. Yeah. So, yeah, we had that, and all those comments are going to be gathered together. I think we had about 30 comments. They're all going to be given to Dean Carroll of College Business.
Okay.
So she's going to look over those and see what the students think about DFran and see if it needs any improvements, which I highly doubt that will happen because they're looking into renovating DFran here soon. And so they want to make sure they have all the funds together because I think she gave me a year
I heard
time frame.
The Learning Center is being renovated this summer.
Yeah, they're
maybe.
really?
That
This summer?
might be a lie, so don't take my word for that. But like one of my teachers was like, "Oh, they're moving things around."
Oh, okay.
In here, but
I know they're renovating all over campus. I just know I think DFran's going to be like a couple of years. I can't remember the range. I think I'm going to guess like 5 to 10, 5 to 7, something like that. I think it's somewhere in that range that it gets renovated. So she can't do much with the building itself, like a new coat of paint or like anything like that. But other than that, yeah.
And are there any other events coming up?
Well, actually, we have a few new events that we're planning right now. The dates aren't set in play because I'm going back and forth with Carol's secretaries about dates and everything like that. But we want to plan an appreciation picnic. We want to do a giveaway table. These events are more like thank yous to college business students for picking the program here at Kutztown. So we want to start. I started planning them with sending emails back and forth to her secretaries and talking to Carol herself. Which actually we have another meeting with Carol this Friday at 11. So we're going to talk about more things we can do for the students in the COB. But it's not just me who's meeting with her. It's also the other 5 representatives that we have for the College of Business. So, but like events-wise, well, we do have one, Frank Gamini. But this is actually a campus-wide one. But I thought it was pretty interesting for college business students because it's very related to college business. Which Frank Gamini, the chief financial officer for the Eagles, is actually going to be here on April 5th in AF 200, and you can ask him all sorts of questions like what's it like to be a financial officer for the Eagles, or is it rough to manage millions of dollars for a football team? Like, how do you plan all these events? Like, I think he's going to talk about how he scheduled Taylor Swift and U2 and all these events for their football teams, for his football team. But that right now is the big event that's coming up, other than our Entrepreneurship Week.
All right. And is there anything else, just SGB-wise, that you'd like to make sure the listeners know this afternoon?
Well, actually, we have a meeting at 5 today. Okay. So we do a guest speaker section in the beginning of our meetings. Mm-hmm. So if you wish to voice your opinion, or if you have anything to toss at the board that you need our opinion on, or maybe approval or special funding. I know we have special funding that's coming up here soon for clubs who are having issues with funding. That can be dealt with our treasurer, Dylan Wingrove. But like I said, you can come during at 5 when we have our SGB meetings.
And anyone can go to those?
Anyone,
Any student? You don't have to be a member of SGB?
No, anybody can come to these, pretty much.
And do like a bunch of just random students come out, or not so much? Or?
Oh yeah, there have been we've always had like whenever there's another section of our meetings where we'll approve clubs to go from maroon status to gold status, which means you get special funding, you get use of other resources here on campus, like the SGA vans, which have you seen them? They're outside of the MSU. They're just like vans that clubs can use to, like, let's say if they do a day trip to Philadelphia or something. Mm-hmm. So, resources like that you can use. So the club's president's secretary, the e-board will come in and they'll give their reasoning on why they want to get the club moved up to gold status and more funding, and we dictate if we'll move them to that status. So we've had, like, I think it was last week we had, I can't remember the club's names, but it was a club for the education department about middle school education, where they come together and they talk about their, I can't remember exactly. I just remember it was a club for the education department that they were trying to get moved up to gold status, and then there was a library club where they helped put in materials in the library that also got moved to maroon status, I believe it was. So like they all came, they voiced their opinion and stuff like that, and then we dictate if we move them to gold status or not.
Well, thank you both for stopping in today. Is there any final thoughts you'd like to say about Entrepreneurship Club? And just remind us when the date and time that meeting is again?
Yeah, I just say keep your eyes peeled. There are going to be posters and flyers put around campus in the next couple of weeks. And they start on the 27th of March to the 29th, and that's e-week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right, thank you both for stopping into the KUR studios this afternoon. It was wonderful to have you two.
Thank you for having us.
Great and fun personalities.
Oh, excellent. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Follow the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR, on Instagram and Snapchat. Enjoy a steady stream of content from your favorite student DJs. Just search KUR 1670 or search hashtag KURadio on any social media platform. We are the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
It's us again, Kutztown. Brooke
and Allie
are back from the Career Development Center to tell you about the Lehigh Valley Collegiate Career Expo on Wednesday, February 28th. It's from 12 to 4 at the Holiday Inn in Briningsville. This fair has internship opportunities, volunteer opportunities, part-time employment opportunities, and full-time employment opportunities. Over 100 employers will be there. The Career Development Center will also be providing a shuttle to the event, so sign up today in Stratton 113. To get you ready for the fair, don't forget to come to our workshop, How to Work a Career Fair, on February 22nd in MSU 250. There will be 2 half-hour sessions from 11 to noon. Oh, and free pancakes will be served. See you there.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. It's against my religion. I'm giving my dog a bath, you can have pictures of that. Pressure gives me hives. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. Hold on, let me ask my mom. Sorry, my webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. Unfortunately, I just had my clothes surgically attached to my body. If they got out, I might never be president. I'm already naked, under my clothes. Not even if you were all 3 Jonas Brothers. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. The more you ask, the less I want to. You're not the boss of me. Nudity makes me vomit. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Listen to Shuffle every Tuesday on KUR. From 9 to 10 p.m., your host Jake Quellen plays a variety of songs that have no business being played together. You can listen by going to www.kutztown.edu/KUR. I hope you're ready to be confused because this show makes no sense. KUR, the radio voice of Kutztown University.
My name is Michael O'Mara. I'm the president of Kutztown University Radio, and you're listening to a segment on Kutztown Live with State Senator Judy Schwank. Judy, good morning.
Good morning.
We're here to talk about a bunch of stuff, but the biggest thing we're here to talk about are spotted lanternflies. Can you tell me a little bit about spotted lanternflies, Senator Schwank?
The spotted lanternfly is a brand new invasive pest that landed in the northern hemisphere of all places in Berks County, not too far from Kutztown, actually. And as a result of coming into our country, has really drawn a lot of attention and has created some real economic damage.
Mm-hmm. From your perspective, how did they get here? And where did they come from?
We understand that they may have come in on a shipping crate, possibly to a nursery or landscape supplier in northern Berks County, northeast Berks County. And they came in not as an adult, but possibly as an egg case. and their egg cases are very nondescript.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're looking for. You wouldn't have seen it. So maybe the inspector, whether it was in Korea or China or Vietnam, which is where the spotted lanternfly comes from, they may not have noticed it.
Yeah, one thing I actually, looking through your website months ago, back when you called for the task force, I found a nest. And I did what your website recommended. I scraped it off, put it in a little baggie, threw it away. But it's tough to explain what they look like on radio because we don't have the aid of visuals or anything like that. But they kind of look like scraped gum on the side of a wall.
Right, or putty or something like that, right?
And it doesn't come off as, when I think of a bug nest or like a bug, like a little place where they grow, I think of like a caterpillar nest, or I think of a just a little tiny pine cone or something like that, something small, something that's easily identifiable as a nest. And this thing, it isn't.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. So, there are online plenty of sources that you can take a look at what the egg cases look like, because really, right now, that's the only thing we can do.
Yeah.
Is to try to destroy those egg cases.
Do they attack you?
So I urge people to do that. And as a matter of fact, even the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture has created these little, they look like credit cards, but you use them to scrape the spotted lanternfly.
Really?
You scrape those eggs off.
I had no idea. So they supply them? Are they free?
Yeah, they're free. They're free.
And how do you get them?
You can get them either through a county extension office or by contacting the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture.
I'm going to do that because I'm sick and tired of them. Because I was on campus for the entirety of the summer semester here back in 2017, and they would just openly attack you. You would just be walking casually.
They fly into you.
They just fly right into you. I've seen them fly into buses. I've seen them fly into people. They flown into me. One thing, a lot of people draw parallels between they hear the word invasive and their minds go to two things. It's Japanese beetles and stink bugs. And the whole aspect with stink bugs is don't step on them, don't smush them because they'll stink. Is there any repercussions, immediate repercussions to killing these things?
No, not at all. And interestingly enough, they're you certainly can squish them. But you know what? They're very hard to actually step on because they hop. Not only do they fly, and they're good flyers, they hop. And it's so unusual because they're a pretty large insect. They're like an inch when they're a full adult. So it's kind of, you'd think they'd be pretty clumsy. But they're not that easy to actually kill them by stepping on them. So what a lot of people do is they put a band of paper around a tree trunk, and they put the sticky stuff on it. You can actually buy the paper already with the sticky stuff on it, and when the insects, and because this is part of their habit, they crawl up and down the tree, they get stuck on that paper. And that's a way to get a lot of them at one time, because you're not going to be able to step on them fast enough.
Yeah, I watched someone step on them, and then it was still alive.
Yeah, I can believe it.
It flew away.
They are amazing, so interesting, and we've never seen anything like it before in Pennsylvania. So we're still learning about it. What are their preferred hosts? We found them in all kinds of things that are of danger to our grape and wine industry and our fruit industry, possibly even hardwoods. So we really got to learn fast, and we've got to figure this out. What are we going to do?
You mentioned that they were new. How new are we talking here?
We're talking 2013 when they first showed up.
Okay, so brand spanking new. I remember being a kid, 2006, the Japanese beetles coming in and eating all this stuff, but that's even faster. Wow.
Yeah.
And you say invasive. How invasive are we talking here? Is there any predators for them?
We have found that, and I've seen photos of it, that some of the usual predators, like praying mantis and even wheel bugs or assassin bugs, which are a cousin of the stink bug but bigger, they will attack them. But there's generally not enough of them to make a real dent in the population that we saw of these things last year. Now, last year, I used the word epic, and I don't use it lightly because there were so many of them. And so many people like you became aware of them because they were all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what the population necessarily will look like this coming year, but we have to be prepared for it.
I think I saw a video when I first really started realizing this was a problem. The Reading Eagles atop the pagoda back in sometime in the summer, and they posted a video of there was just a camera on top. There's this perched camera, and there was just dozens flying at them left and right. They were walking around. There was like 20, 30 of them within like a feet or two.
Right, and maybe more because apparently they went all over their cameras. they really made it very difficult for them to do what they needed to do in terms of watching the birds or the hawks. Again, they were epic proportions, but maybe there's a couple things that will work to our favor this year. One is that we've heard just from people who are observant that they haven't seen as many egg masses this year. And two, those really cold temperatures that we all hated in the last couple weeks, maybe some of them will kill the egg masses. But we don't know yet. We won't know until, they hatch out in late April and May.
Other than killing them, other than scraping them off and getting the little tool necessary to get it done, what can people do to make people aware that these nests are there, or at least they saw something?
Well, they should, at this stage of the game, the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture isn't asking anybody to send one to them if they live in the quarantine area. And by the way, the quarantine area is all the way up to 13 counties. And we know that, anecdotally again, that it's been seen in other states like Delaware and New York, because this thing hitches rides on vehicles, stuff like that. So the one thing, because of the quarantine area, is for people not to move plant products like wood out of the quarantine area. That's illegal right now. And it's a serious offense. But what they can do is to, just be observant of what they're seeing on their own property or in someone else's, and alerting them to the fact that they may need to take some control measures when the season starts.
You mentioned the quarantine zones, 13 counties.
Right.
I went on this little little map, I think. I found it through your website, actually.
Yeah.
What does that say? Because all I did was type in my zip code and it said, yes, you're in the quarantine zone. Is that really what it does? Is that about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can look at the entire, quarantine area. So it does let you know that. And it also tells you about what kinds of things are, suspect in terms of the quarantine. That it's not that you can't move things, but you've got to get a permit, and you may need to have an inspection by the Department of Agriculture. This primarily applies to landscapers, nurseries, orchards, vineyards, those types of things. Or, we've found even people who truck materials like
that's what I was
manufacturing.
Thinking. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
They have done, a great job of putting in place an inspection program so that they make sure that when their trucks leave their site, that they're not carrying spotted lanternflies with them. They put fans on the trucks or blowers so they can blow any of them off.
You mentioned that you need a permit in some cases, or it's a serious offense to transport wood. Well, what other parameters exist within the quarantine zone that people should be aware of?
Well, any construction waste. Okay, so we talked about firewood or yard waste, any kind of nursery stock. Needs, things such as recreational vehicles. You have a motor home, or tractors and mowers, and any kind of stone or landscape lumber or construction lumber. All kinds of things that might be outside that could harbor the egg masses or the live insects.
Now, this isn't something I did. I didn't do like an official poll. I didn't do an official study or anything like that. I'm just a student who walked around and asked people things. But when I visited a local business, when I visited a restaurant, talked to classmates, talked to coworkers, talked to mentors, I asked them about the spotted lanternfly. I asked them, do you know what it is? Do you know what to do in the event that you see one? The students, no idea. I actually had one student said, "Yeah, I hate those things." He's a baseball player, so he plays outside.
He's outside, so he notices it.
Yeah, he's been out in the outfield, and he just they've flown into him over the summer, so he's aware. But most students, they don't know, and on the other side, most faculty, most staff, most people that skew over the age of 40, it seems, are aware. They are aware they're pests, they're invasive, and that they are difficult. The one student that was aware of the spotted lanternflies asked if they have the same habits as stink bugs, if they like hang out in houses. Is that something they do, or are they just solely on?
No, they're not overwintering in houses. Not that I'm aware of. That's an interesting observation, because I hate it when those stink bugs are in the house too.
I didn't like it.
But no, I have not seen these, and I certainly had them on my property. And they're relatively large, so they can't like squeeze into places.
Good.
We're fairly confident that there's one generation of these things a year. So the adults die off when the weather gets really, really cold. But then it's the egg cases that are, that overwinter that are a problem.
What where they come from? Have they taken any steps? Like you said, Vietnam, China. Is there any research done there to say, okay, these things can be dealt with?
And our entomologists, particularly at Penn State as well as at the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, are consulting with entomologists and, agricultural experts over in those countries, so they can try to figure this out a little bit better.
Okay. Is that part of the task force that you called?
That's part of the Invasive Pest Council from the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture.
Cool.
But what I've done is asked the Department of Agriculture, and they've done this. They've also instituted a task force, which includes business and nursery and homeowners and, every interested party, so that, they're not necessarily the scientists, but the people that will be impacted by this, so that they can be, information providers, as well as provide guidance to the technical experts in the Invasive Pest Council.
How can an everyday person like myself get involved with the task force?
Well, what they can do is, again, go online on the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture website. They can get information there. They can contact their local extension agent. That's probably the best way, and let them know that they have some information on this, or they'd like to get more information. The Master Gardener program in Berks County, for example, they are answering homeowner questions all the time about this.
Okay. How has the reception been, the task force? How have your colleagues, how have your constituents, have you received positive feedback or received negative feedback regarding this matter?
The task force has not met yet.
Okay.
We actually have our first meeting next week, and
Beautiful.
I'll be at it. And it's going to be in Montgomery County, because that's kind of the epicenter of where this pest has been found. Excuse me, and it's the center of the, sort of the quarantine area. So we're meeting next week, and I can probably provide you with more information, and we'll likely put it on my website, senatorschwank.com, with all the other information that we have about spotted lanternfly. We've tried to collect everything there so that people have a site to go to.
Yeah, you not only have live streamed the meeting in which you called for the task force on your personal pages, you also have tutorials on how to get rid of the egg masses that people find.
Right, it's on YouTube as well, but it's it's really great. You don't have to have that special card I talked about. If you have a hotel, key, which is usually like a plastic, looks like a credit card, and just take one of those and use that.
Because, you have a FAQ. You have all the vital information that people need to know about them, and it's all right there. All you got to do is look.
All you have to do is look for it. And who knows what the season will look like this year, but I think this is going to be a valuable resource.
There's been two sources that have really stood out to me regarding the Red Eagle and your office. The Red Eagle has done a really, really good job pushing the whole idea behind the spotted lanternflies, and your office has done a phenomenal job on social media. So whoever is doing that, they are consistently posting the content that is vital to the constituents, and they're constantly posting content that is vital for the people to understand about this problem. So, I'm really able to understand what you guys are doing on a day-to-day basis. Because
I appreciate hearing that. You because our staff has devoted a lot of time to this. In particular, Jamie Klein, who serves as a communication director for my office.
Thank you, Jamie.
Jamie, and has done an incredible job of compiling all that information and helping to organize meetings on this. We will continue to have meetings to help inform people. We're going to use every possible way that we can to get people up to date on what's happening with this insect.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to my advisor here, my station manager, Michael Regensberger. I'm gonna try to make sure that there is some sort of follow-up to this later on, either this semester or maybe next year, where you can come on and communicate with the students and have this available for purpose and use at a later point in time.
You're a key part in this too, Michael, so thank you for providing this forum for us.
Thank you, Senator Schwank. Well, that was a brief discussion with Senator Judy Schwank on spotted lanternflies and the task force she called steps you can take to get rid of the spotted lanternfly and some of the things that are being done to prevent them from spreading and understanding why they're here. My name is Michael O'Mara, and this is a special segment of Kutztown Live. For all things Kutztown University Radio, be sure to check us out on social media using hashtag KURadio. Senator Schwank, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Follow KUR, an award-winning radio station, on Twitter to receive exciting daily content delivered straight to your newsfeed. You'll discover diverse music, breaking news, and engaging student DJ content. Visit twitter.com/KURadio to tweet along. Remember to use hashtag KURadio on social media. We are the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Kutztown Live, Kutztown University's campus and community talk show. I am your host, Juliana Jablonski, and you just heard an interview from Mike O'Mara and Senator Judy Schwank. And before that, excuse me, we spoke to Saige and Michael. They are members from the Entrepreneurship Club here at KU. And Michael was also able to give us a little bit of an update from the Student Government Board College of Business. And we also were able to start off today's show speaking to the KU men's basketball coach, Coach Driscoll. They've got a big game coming up tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is Wednesday at 7:30 in Keystone, so be sure to head on over to that game and support the team. We've got some news and some updates from the Kutztown area. This is super exciting, and I'm just hearing about this now. It is Reading Magazine's section Bites of Berks is coming to visit Mad Dogs Hot Dogs here in Kutztown, located at 100 North Constitution Boulevard. The Bites of Berks are coming here on February 25th to film a new episode of the series. And the public is invited to be a part of the restaurant audience from 11 to 1. That is the estimated filming time. The audience members are encouraged to hang out, order food, and give feedback on the atmosphere and the menu. So that's definitely, I think, a cool opportunity. It's like in diners, drive-ins, and dives when people get filmed and stuff like that. So I guess that's a cool opportunity if you like hot dogs and want to be on TV So go on out to that on February 25th at Mad Dogs. Also, there is an event that is being sponsored by the MSU coming up on February 21st, which is tomorrow at 12 in the afternoon to 2 in the afternoon in the MSU Multi-Purpose Room, room 223. It is called Decisions, and it is a wellness program where you are able to sample several different foods and compare all their nutritional value, and you are able to see what healthy foods may not be so healthy after all, and find some foods that you may think are thought of as unhealthy that you can learn to eat guilt-free. So if you want to go to that is tomorrow at 12 to 2 in the MSU room 223. Also, a little update on that construction over there on Route 222 and 622, where the construction and traffic has been going on and on for what feels like forever. It is expected to be done around this July, and police are starting to prep the drivers for the roundabout that will be put in place there. Also, in the MSU, they always show movies every week, and I just had it right here in front of me what movies they're showing, and I lost it. All right, this weekend they are showing November Criminals on the 22nd on Thursday and Friday night at 8, and Saturday and Sunday at 3 and 8 p.m. You can go see November Criminals, and I'm looking forward to seeing Downsizing, which is the next weekend. But all right, thank you so much for tuning in with me this afternoon. Thank you to all of our guests here on Kutztown Live. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week, and we will talk to you next Tuesday with more of Kutztown Live.